So today on the bench we have a Sinclair ZX Spectrum computer. It's a Z80 based computer. It looks really cool. It's a very small machine. It's not a very big machine like the Apple or Commodore machines. This one has rubber keys that you press. I guess it takes a bit of time to learn how to write programs or use this machine because of the rubber keys, but not just the fact of the rubber keys, but also it's got commands built in. So each key has the letter, for example, P in this case. There's a print command. There's another symbol here, tab function. The Q, for example, has plot. It has ASN, SYN, other characters on here. There's what else? On the machine itself, here on the back, we have an RF modulator for the television, because that was the big thing to use. An earphone jack for output for audio, a mic input for your tapes, because the machine runs using tapes. There's also an edge connector that you can plug in external peripherals, like this one we'll be talking about in a moment, and the power 9-volt center negative power, which you just plug in. There's no on-off button on this one. Now this one here says 16K on it. I'm wondering if it's a 16K model or 48K. I believe it's a 48K. So we'll be opening that in a moment. We'll take a look at that. The next machine is this other one. It says, again, Sinclair. It's a ZX Spectrum Plus. Now the reason why it's called the Plus, it's basically the same machine. I believe the motherboards that fit from the ZX Spectrum were placed into this case. Now this case, the box is bigger. It has more of a typical keyboard you'd find in other computers like the Commodores, Apples, etc. But it's quite nice. It's different than the rubber keys, but it's quite interesting. This case looks really good, very clean. What do we have on the back? It's basically the same thing. RF out, earphone audio out, audio in, the expansion slot, and a 9-volt center negative. These are center negative power supplies. This one here looks like it's been repaired on the 24th of February 1988. Did not remove sticker for warranty, which is fine. This also has these nice little feet that pop up, and you can place it so it sits on an angle as opposed to flat. See if that shows up in the camera like that. And then you can split it like that. It makes it easier for typing. So the next thing would be to get a power supply together for these and see if we can power them up and get them working. Now the power supply that came with this unit is a Sinclair ZX power supply. It's 240 volts AC and 9 volts out, 1.4 amps, although we don't necessarily need that high of a voltage. This unit has been rechecked since the recall of February 26, 83, Sinclair Research Limited. And it has the European style plug. Now I live in Canada, so this will not work. We'll have to get another power supply together so we can try them on and see if they work. Now I have these power supplies. These are really fairly cheap. They're like $10 or $15 Canadian for these power supplies. I've had several and they work fine. They're from China, and it's a 110 volt in and a 9 volt DC out. Now the only problem with these ones is that they're center positive. So what I did is I cut the cable and I reversed the wires, soldered them, put some shrink tubing on it. then put another big piece of shrink tubing over both of them, and then put a piece of tape just so that I have to probably do a better job of that. But something on here to tell me what it is. Well, it's for the ZX Specky. That's what these are called. Spectrums are referred to as Speckies. In the UK, it's a 9-volt center negative, so that I don't use this on another machine which is center positive. So you want to make sure that you're using the right power configuration. If not, you'll either damage the Spectrum computers or something else that you're using. So let's put this aside and take a look inside one of the units. Okay, now it's time to open up the first ZX Spectrum computer. So let's take these screws out. And take a look and see what we'll find inside, and then we'll have to do some testing before we actually get it all up and running. It's pretty simple enough. It's just 4 little screws. This one has all the rubber feet, which is good. Don't have to worry about changing that. Now, when you pull these out, you have to be careful. The keyboard has 2 ribbon cables that are very fragile, and they fit into a slot, and they need to probably be replaced. I will look at that soon enough. I found the problem. There's another screw underneath this sticker here. So let's get that out. Sorry, little sticker. 16K, go away. Tricked me here. Alright, let's get that out. And now we can pop this open. And let me do a bit better video angle on the video so you can see what's inside before I open it right up. Alright, I have the other camera set up here so you can get a better look when I'm opening this up inside. So when you open it up, you can see that there are 2 ribbon cables, one here and one here. So I'm going to be carefully pulling out these cables. Now, these are notorious for going bad, so be careful taking them out, and most likely probably have to replace them because I'm sure the keyboard is not going to work properly. So let's switch back to the other angle and take the keyboard apart and see what's inside. So here we are on the top view again. I'm going to pull these out. Looks like someone has been doing work on here. And they just slide up and out. Be very careful with these so they don't ruin it. So there you go. We have the connectors on here. It looks like they've been someone's put tape on them. The plastic that is surrounding the actual wires in here separate, and it's like someone has put some tape to hold them together. So that will probably be something that we will have to replace. Now, looking at this unit, I don't think it's going to work. We have missing components. Let's switch cameras and get a better view. Alright, now with the machine open, we can get a better look inside. We can see here, let me just put that in a better view for you. There's some logic chips that are missing here. This is a 16K, not a 48K, like I was told, so they're missing the RAM chips, although they're socketed so I can put them in. The RAM chips used here are 4116. Let's see if it's coming out. 4116 chips. It doesn't have the RF modulator mod. There's a mod you can make that so it runs off. Sorry, not an RF modulator mod. That basically it's a capacitor you pop in to give you composite out. The support logic for this board is missing. These have been socketed, so I don't know if it's working, if it's not working. There's also what's called a spider mod onto the processor. This is the Z80 processor here that is done. This is a revision 2 board. Here's the ROM, and this is the ULA, which basically takes a whole bunch of TTL logic chips and combine them into one custom chip. And this one here, this is a version, let's take a look here. Can we get a better view of that? This is a version, the ULA-3. Now, to my understanding, there's different versions. Version 7 is -7 is supposed to be the best, but we don't know if this will work or not. So this will be a coming in a future video. I'm going to be locating the chips that are needed for these components here, the support logic, and see if I can find some RAM to populate this, and then we'll give it a power up and go from there. Because right now I'm pretty sure that with these missing, that it's not going to work. Although I'm not an expert. But let's move on to the next Spectrum computer. Okay, next on the bench is the Spectrum Plus. Let's open this one up and see what's going on inside. Now I believe there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screws. So let's take these out. Okay, after a bit of farting around, playing around with this thing, I realized there's a screw under the sticker says important, do not remove. So I pulled that screw out, and I think now we can open up the unit. So let's see if we can open this up. And yes, we can. And again, these have the same ribbon cable, so I will pull them out. You gotta be careful with these things, they're a bit of a pain, but oh, this one's falling apart. Alright, so here is an example of the cable. I was talking about this one. Look, this one is peeled back, so this one definitely should be replaced. This one here has some, it's like dirt on here, but needs a cleaning. We will look at replacing these with the other one. So let's put this aside and look at this one here. Okay, so we have some rubber, some foam on here that's disintegrating. This one has all the chips in there. This has a big regulator on here for the voltage regulator. This is a 7005 regulator, so I'm going to eventually be looking at replacing this regulator. I found out you can put a more modern regulator that doesn't require the big heat sink. But in the meantime, let's take a look around. This has all the chips in there. This has wonderful MOSTEC memory on here. It's the 4116, and it's got the ULA, which is a -7. Let's see if it's picking up this. Let's see if we can get a better view. It's the -7, which apparently, from what I've read, is the better ULA. So looks like a good win on this one here. So let's do some more poking around. Here's the on-off switch, like I mentioned. I might have mentioned before, but this is the reset button here that goes to here. There's no other mods to it. The connector for the RF, which will be modifying, just does not have the composite mod out. Will be modifying, but we have to clean this up. So it looks like this machine will require a bit of cleaning, and yeah, so I'll be putting another video together on how we, take a look at the machines. Let's troubleshoot them if there's any problems, buy some replacement parts for the other 48K. And then we can also try out this here. This is a ProTech joystick interface. So it's got a joystick port, which is extremely dirty, which we'll have to take a look and fix that up and plug it in and see if it works. So stay tuned for the next videos. I'll be doing a quick, hopefully a second and maybe a third video on this topic. I think the Spectrum computers are really cool. They're running the Z80 processor, which we don't give it much credit. I don't think maybe so much in North America on the Z80. We talk a lot about 6502 and the Apples and so on, VIC-20s, PETs, etc. Nintendo console. I believe the Atari also has it. But the Z80 or Z80 processor is mainly a processor that we use for business applications, where here we can use that processor for not just programs but for some really cool games. So I'm looking forward to getting the machines running, introducing some other tech that's coming. One is a diagnostics cartridge, and one is the HDMI output for these machines, so we can play some games and see what they're like. So hopefully you like this video. Please subscribe, share. Thanks to all my current subscribers and viewers like you. It really helps me a lot when you watch my videos and give me a thumbs like, so hopefully you'll do that. And we'll see you in the next one. Take care.